Okay, good evening, everyone. We see that our participants are still rolling in, but we know everyone's time is valuable and precious, so we want to go ahead and get started. I'd like to welcome you to the 9th Annual Community Wildfire Preparedness Symposium. This is hosted in collaboration with Austin Travis County Wildfire Coalition. So thank you for joining us tonight. There are a lot of fun things to do in Austin on a Thursday night, so we really appreciate you spending that time with us here and learning this important information. If you're new to the area, we'd like to welcome you to the community. And if you didn't know, Austin has a lot of areas that are at risk from a wildfire across the county. So we like to say that wildfire is everyone's fight. And if you're joining us tonight, that means it's your fight too. So to help our community prepare and be resilient to the impacts of wildfire, we've brought together subject matter experts from across the country. Tonight's panel is intended as a call to action. During wildfire, there will be little to no time to prepare. It's really important you take step now to ensure that you, your family, and your loved ones are safe in the event of the next wildfire. We will answer questions that arise that are dropped in the chat at the end of the panel discussion. So tune in if you have those questions, put them in the chat, and we'll follow up with you at the end of the panel. And if there's not time to address each of the questions, we'll follow up with folks individually. We'd like to start our presentation tonight in our panel discussion with a message from community leaders. Austin City Council Mayor Pro-Tem Allison Alter and Travis County Commissioner Ann Howard have both joined us tonight to provide that leadership intent. I will now pass the mic off to Mayor Pro-Tem Alter for our opening statements.
Good evening, everyone. It's wonderful to see you. Thank you, Justice, for kicking us off. I'm Mayor Pro Tem Allison Alter, and I have the honor of representing District 10 on the Austin City Council. District 10 is in central northwest Austin. I want to thank the Austin Travis County Wildfire Coalition, the Austin Fire Department, and every member of the community who helped to make this symposium possible. It's really wonderful to be here tonight with folks who care so much about the Austin community. And we also have some folks joining us from the national network to learn and share with us. As Justice mentioned, wildfire is everyone's fight, and we need the whole of the community to come together, to be informed, to take action, to make us all safer. I believe that's even more important this year. If you've been paying attention at all, you know that we've experienced several red flag days and periods of extreme risk. I'm really thankful for the water that we had earlier this week. Low humidity, high temperatures, and high winds are all conditions prime for a wildfire event, and reminiscent of the conditions experienced during the 2011 wildfire season that so deeply impacted Central Texas. I am sure I'm not alone in taking those red flag days as a warning that we must heed to ensure we do everything and anything in our power to keep our community safe and prepared for the next major wildfire event. It is a matter of when, not if, we will see more wildfires like the one in Bastrop or Steiner Ranch. For those of you who are familiar with central northwest Austin, you know that it's one of the highest wildfire risk areas in Austin, largely because of how much of the district falls within the wildland-urban interface. However, it's incredibly important to note that all of Austin shares some wildfire risk. There's a ring around the whole city, and fire in one area can spread even inside of that ring. Because of this risk, I've worked since my election in 2017 to bring wildfire to the forefront of Austin's priorities. As an elected official, I'm well positioned to bring the relevant parties together and navigate the city, the region, and the neighborhoods to get folks on the same page. So thank you for being here tonight. None of what we've been able to accomplish in prevention and mitigation could happen without dedicated partners at every level. And so I'm thankful that we have so many Austinites that care deeply about wildfire and so many staff from many departments who care about this work too. I'm proud of the work that we've done so far, and I'd like to share a couple of those accomplishments where I've led. We conducted an audit to better understand where we can be doing more to meet the wildfire threat. We made investments in fuels mitigation to lessen the amount of dead and overgrown vegetation. We improved Austin Energy's vegetation management policy and accelerated work to address high wildfire risk, low reliability circuits. We adopted a version of the International Wildland Urban Interface Code for new buildings in the WUI, the Wildland Urban Interface, and Austin was one of the first big cities to do so. We funded land use planning at city parks and preserves. We've advocated for hardening our critical city infrastructure in the WUI. I led on our climate emergency declaration and championed resilience work. We secured training opportunities to ensure our firefighters are ready to respond when a fire ignites. This is the responding to interface training, because we know that fighting a wildfire is different than fighting a structure fire. We've supported community education to bring neighborhoods into the wildfire efforts, such as this symposium. I'm now working on improved evacuation technology, systems, and awareness. It is really critical that our city prioritizes wildfire at the level of its threat. That means doing everything we can to mitigate our local risks through proper land management and fuels reduction, and making necessary investments in emergency preparedness and readiness. What we can each do to prevent and mitigate our wildfire risk is really a serious business. And last year we experienced Storm Uri, and that was a low probability, high risk disaster. And I say that because we all have kind of a visceral reaction to that experience. But for Austin, a wildfire is a high probability, high risk event, and we need to be acting accordingly. We've made significant progress over the past years, and it's clear to me that there's still much to be done. I look forward to working with my colleagues and partners at every level, like the many that are here tonight, to make sure that our community is safe. I hope that all the folks tuning in will find an opportunity to be a part of the solution. It's not just the job of the fire department to help us prevent wildfire and mitigate the risk. So I hope that each of you will do your part. And I want to thank you for being here, and I look forward to learning from each of the other speakers as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Alter. I'll now introduce County